A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a bold move that has sparked both celebration and criticism, the U.S. Navy executed a deadly strike on a Venezuelan cartel boat, killing 11 individuals in international waters. This operation has been met with mixed reactions, particularly from critics who argue that it lacked due process. However, on Fox News, the panelists were quick to laud the strike as a necessary message to drug gangs and smugglers. The strike, which was characterized by a precision airstrike, has been described by panelist Jesse Waters as delivering a one-way ticket to narco heaven for the individuals aboard the speedboat. The footage of the airstrike, which circulated widely on social media, showcased the dramatic explosion, reinforcing the panel's perspective on the severity of the threat posed by such vessels. Waters emphasized that the boat was a floating weapon of mass destruction, packed with enough illicit substances to potentially harm countless Americans. The panelists unanimously agreed that this strike was not just a singular action, but part of a larger strategy to combat drug trafficking and terrorism. Co-panelist Greg Gutfeld remarked that the operation was intended as a deterrent, suggesting that it sends a clear message to smugglers. He humorously noted that potential traffickers might reconsider their career choices in light of such decisive military action. "This is what you call a message," Gutfeld stated, highlighting the psychological impact of the strike on those involved in the drug trade. Dana Perino added another layer to the discussion, pointing out that this operation aligns with President Trump's broader strategy to address not only drug trafficking, but also terrorism. She recalled how Trump had previously labeled Mexican drug cartels as terrorist organizations and suggested that military action against them was a possibility. The panelists expressed a sense of optimism about the current administration's approach, contrasting it with previous policies that they felt embraced a decline in U.S. power. They celebrated the decisive action taken by the Navy, viewing it as a strong stance against drug-related violence and a signal of a more aggressive U.S. foreign policy. However, not everyone agrees with this assessment. Dr. Christopher Sabatini, a senior fellow for Latin America at Chatham House, criticized the deployment of such significant military resources for what he deemed a disproportionate response to small boats. He questioned the rationale behind sending 8 ships and 4,500 personnel, including Marines, to the Venezuelan coast, labeling it as simply ridiculous. Dr. Sabatini argued that the operation was less about maritime security and more about exerting psychological pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his administration. He posited that the Trump administration's intentions might be aimed at instigating regime change in Venezuela, rather than solely focusing on drug interdiction. The ongoing discourse surrounding this military action highlights the complexities of U.S. foreign policy in Latin America, particularly in relation to drug trafficking and regional stability. As the situation evolves, it remains to be seen how this strike will impact U.S.-Venezuelan relations and the broader war on drugs. With the Trump administration signaling a willingness to take military action, the stakes have undoubtedly risen for those involved in the drug trade. The panel's celebration of the strike, juxtaposed with the criticisms from experts, underscores a significant divide in opinions about the effectiveness and morality of such military interventions. As the debate continues, one thing is clear: the U.S. is preparing for a more aggressive stance against narco-terrorism, and the implications of this approach will be felt for years to come. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.